Is it live or memory? Oh boy, I'm in a good place right now, and there's times when I just feel like I'm kind of right where I belong. Uh, Wicked hot and today. I just got out of the shower, working outside, and they said it. I walked out this morning. It's raining now. The weather forecast said by noontime, by noontime it was going to be like a heat wave, and we're like, it's raining out. But by noontime, at what time is it? It's 1 o'clock. I just got home. I went right to the shower. It got hot, and it was hot and humid, and it was gross. Like all of a sudden, the skies cleared. The clock 5 and hot and humid. So I was like, "We're out of here. This is too much. This is too much." But just I had it like as I was working. I've mentioned it before. When I work, it's very meditative doing what I do, and I'm doing my thing today, and I was remembering certain things that not only I've experienced, but um, little stories, little things. What is it? A plethora of useless information. But these things that it means something to me. It means something to me, and that's why I titled it "Broken Bones Kintsugi." I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Kintsugi and the place where the light enters. Um, just as a precursor, kintsugi, kintsugi is the art, a Japanese art of where you have a dish, a vase, a goblet, something breaks, and instead of throwing the item away, they repair it, but they repair it with gold or platinum, and the belief or understanding in that art, in that craft, is that the it adds character to the piece, and adds a story to it. It makes the piece richer and fuller. Even though it was broken, they mend it with gold or platinum. And I have a rip-off piece in my bathroom. It has that design to it, but it's not real. Um, but going to like broken bones, kids playing on a monkey bars, or a playground or whatever, and he breaks his arm. He goes to the hospital. Very painful, man. A clean break, snap. The kid's screaming. It's a painful experience. It's a painful experience. I've witnessed it firsthand. Um, However, they do say sometimes that sprains are worse than breaks. I digress. But the broken bones, and it goes to this Japanese art, man. It goes to this Japanese art. I remember finding out that when a bone is broken, when something happens, there's a trauma, and a bone is broken, the place where the bone heals, the place where the bone heals actually becomes exponentially stronger than the bone itself. Not unlike repairing a broken goblet or a broken dish with gold. It reinforces it, it strengthens it, it fortifies it. You'll never break your bone in that same place. It's way stronger. The thing is, I consider times in my life where I may have had a friendship, a relationship, personal, professional, intimate, romantic, whatever. And looking back over the course of my life, when things when we experienced in any one of those varieties of relationships where I experienced something that a rub of some sort, you know, um, one or both parties may, want to exit. uh, One party might want to reconcile and the other doesn't, and then sometimes both parties are agreeable. And however, 9 times out of 10 in over the course of my life, there was a point where you just like you go and you move on. Um, but I find myself in a position. Again, I was outside today, and it was wonderful, even though it was cold and rainy for the first part of the day. I was very focused. I was very focused in my meditation, and there's times when I don't think over the course of my life I've ever given. I know I've made attempts, but I've never given proper attention to mending a relationship. Why? Sometimes because I was angry. Sometimes I was embarrassed or ashamed. Um, Sometimes I was resentful. You know, and letting these aspects of those emotions um, dictate how I was going. Fear was dictating my response to whether or not I was going to continue to invest myself in any of these situations. Um, However, I found myself like at a point where viewing certain things, certain experiences, certain people, certain friends, that there's a time and a place to let the bone heal and mend, because it's going to become stronger. That bone is never going to break in that same place again, or like that dish that's repaired with gold. It adds character and flavor to the piece. Uh, you know, but these times in our life where you know, where we may have a rub with another person or within ourselves, or simultaneous, however it works out. There's a wound that we feel, or a something. There's a wound that we feel, and I've been a fan of Rumi's book, um, Rumi, Rumi. If we have it, I don't know if that's going to come in. Yeah, there it is. I've had this book and a few others, and I remember when this book was given to me. I've had this book for 20 years, man, and I was getting sober, and there was a whole bunch of life stuff going. It was crazy, man. And a friend of mine, Meg, this is the exact book that she gave me. There's a nice inscription on the inside, and there's a very warm inscription in there. But when she first gave that to me, it's pretty heavy. It's poetry, but I was getting sober. I was a fucking mess, dude. And I remember trying to read this book, and I could not understand it was like reading Greek, man. I couldn't understand. I could not understand it, but it was beautiful. There was an aspect of it that was beautiful, and I really enjoyed that. But I didn't have the comprehension to. But over the last 20 years, I've read that book. I don't even know how many times, and these situations that we would that I might otherwise um, be inclined to gracefully bow out of, because of my uh, because of my fear, because of a fear, a fear response, uh, uh, because of shame or embarrassment, that I might bow out of a particular friendship or relationship, um, and that wound that we feel, and I know we're, but that wound, like Rumi says, that's the place that the light enters us, and we can heal. And like that broken bone, when we heal, the place that we heal becomes stronger than anything else around it. You know what I mean? The mended bone, the mended relationship, the mended, uh, and for me, the one of the greatest mendings I've felt in recent days is self awareness. And that I have a certain aspiration of hope and kind of a plan. As I'm thinking about, what am I going to do? How am I going to correct? What am I going to do? But unlike a few days, a week ago, whatever, and I said, I don't know how to proceed. You know, I know how to proceed. I know it's right here, man. But the wound is the place where the light enters us, and we heal, and we become stronger and more fortified, and a relationship improves. And that is something that over the course of my life, I do have some good relationships. Um, I have had good relationships, and they, people move and whatever. And um, but I would, where I would be otherwise inclined to gracefully bow out, like I mentioned earlier, I feel quite a bit different about this in recent days. And yeah, let that bone mend, and see how beautiful that piece of pottery becomes. We'll see. Hey, talking shit, but I'm in a really good mood. It was a good day, albeit hot. It was like the energy was just flowing. It was just flowing. Like I was definitely, um, I was definitely in my space, like in my zone. And I described it to a friend recently. Um, I remember when somebody was suggesting, um, we went. They suggested a way of recognizing our own intuition, our own gut feeling, and basically what they suggested to me is, and again, in describing this to my friend, I'm like passionate about the beach and the sea and the ocean and the sand and palm trees and whatever. But the suggestion was made that you meditate on what your happy place is. Could be anything, anything. What is personal to you? And at the end of the day, the conclusion I came to was there was a, like, when I felt like completely centered, and there was a sensation and an emotion. There was a what is it, physiology to it. I felt just completely at ease, and the image that albeit I love the ocean, the image that I encountered was an infinite black pool, an infinite black shimmering pool with a single drop, and that that image has a certain sensation or feeling to it to me, and it is, again, I'm going to use that word again, it's uncanny that whenever I follow my intuition, it is that feeling or sense. I have that same sensation. I get this, the pull of my heart when I'm at peace, and I don't know. It's been one of those days where I just felt like, oh, isn't that nice? It's just nice to be in that place, and not have it fleeting. Your intuition is telling you something, and it comes and it goes. It's nice when things just hang around a little bit sometimes. We get to enjoy it. And today was one of those days, and I wanted to share some of that with you. Um, you know, Broken Bones, Kintsugi, and the place where the light enters as peace that surpasses all understanding. I am gonna enjoy my air conditioning. I'm gonna enjoy the fact that I just got out of the shower. I got some nice green tea, green iced tea over there, and I'm gonna chill for real. Peace.